Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Monday. It is Thanksgiving week. First and foremost, Mr. Greg Dickerson, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody watching. I hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can you believe that 2021 is like 5 weeks from being over?
Yeah, it's gone fast. I mean, especially when you count down from last March of 2020, it just seems like it's been a blur.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, hey, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is actually a topic I took from your YouTube channel. So before we get into it, what is your YouTube channel? People need to be following you.
Yeah, Greg Dickerson. That's my YouTube channel. You can find it on my website, gregdickerson.com. All my stuff is there, all my links and everything.
Yep. That is awesome. And again, you need to follow Greg because he covers stuff that I have no experience in. I stay in my lane and then I invite other experts that know so much more than me. And Greg is one of those guys. Well, one of the topics you had on there that I wanted to dig into is the fastest way to success. I thought that was a great topic. I certainly have my opinions on it, having been a sales leader, taking nothing from nothing to something. I think there is a way to do it, but I thought we would talk about it. So when you are asked what's the fastest way to success, what do you talk about? What do you point at?
Yeah, I get that question all the time. And, before we get into actually how, number one, it's mindset. Number two, it's, educating yourself. Number three, it's taking action on those two things. You got to have the right mindset. You got to pour into it. Input equals output. Then you got to take action. You have to actually put what it is you're learning, put what it is that you know into action. And then, and the way you do that. So the how is, you find somebody who is where you want to be or doing what it is you want to do, and you go do that. You find the best in the business, the best in the industry at whatever it is you want to do, and just copy them because, success leads, roadmaps. It leads footprints. So that's all you got to do is look at what they did, how they did it. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Number one, you can buy their book, if it's somebody who's successful. Generally, a lot of people have written books. You can read about them. A lot of people go on YouTube like us and talk about how we did what we did. I've got courses, then you can hire people as mentors, or you could do like I did. And I hired people that were better and smarter than me, and I learned from them. I surrounded myself with people that were better and smarter than me. Mm-hmm. And that's really what it boils down to is, you really have to surround yourself with people who are further along than you. You want to be the dumbest guy in the room when any subject comes up. Yeah. Because if you're not, and if you're the smartest, well, you're either a genius and, you should be there already, or you're in the wrong rooms. So that's really the key.
Yeah, this is exactly where I would have taken this topic is, again, I think success leads clues. I think there's one of the things I truly believe is if one man can do it, anybody can. Right. So if you have like the 4-minute mile is the greatest example ever. Right. For the longest time, it was believed that the heart would explode if we ever did that. So-and-so did it. I forget his name, but, shortly, like a month later, 7 or 8 other people had done it. And the record's, sub 350 now or whatever it is. People really need to take that to heart. And again, your mindset, you have to believe it's possible. I do think you have to seek out those other experts or other people. And again, that's one of the reasons why your network is so important, right? You know who you know. But what was that thing like five deviations from Chris Bayo or something? Like you could like any
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, Kevin Bacon.
Five degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. But it's really interesting because, most people grossly and vastly underestimate what they're really capable of. And they never actually reach their full potential because they give up before they ever try because of that limiting belief mindset that, I can't do this, or, I'm not a good learner. I'm not capable of learning, or I'll never be able to do whatever. Now, we all have our limitations physically, intellectually, those types of things, some people emotionally, but you can always grow. You can always get better. You can always get smarter. You need to figure out how you learn the best and then go do it. The key is a lot of people just give up before they ever start, and they just don't even take the action. And, the key is to start small where you are. And a lot of other people too, they just want it all now. They don't want to do the work necessarily. They don't want to put the time in. They don't want to educate themselves. They want somebody to like hold their hand, and do it for them. And that just isn't going to happen. Nobody ever did anything for me. I had to take the action. I had to do it myself, and I had to empower others on my behalf to do things as leverage and scale and things like that. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, if you want to start a business, nobody's going to start a business for you and then say, hey, go do it. Yeah. You have to actually do the work, take the action, and figure out what works for you? How do you learn the best? How do you grow? You want to understand your limitations, but you want to also understand that you really are unlimited in your capacity within your limitations. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but I'm not going to go play football for, the New England Patriots or for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? It just ain't going to happen.
Right.
So I know that that's a limitation. So I can be the best I can be. If I want to be in the NFL, well, there's other things I can do where I can be an expert and I can be the best at it. I'm just not going to be the one on the field.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very well said. And again, I was asked the other day, there's a couple of things to talk about here. One, I was asked, when you got that first rental, which I talk about at Norris Drive, to when we had 100 units, what was the biggest difference, right? In the answer, you kind of brought it up. It was time. We did the same things to get that first unit that we did from 1 to 100. Focus, daily discipline. Focus, daily discipline. The only other thing was time. Because we had to use our capital, we had to be in a hot market. I didn't live there. I just had to keep going. And now I can look back over 22 years and go, we got there. Some people starting, they're like, they just don't see it, but we're trying.
The key. Discipline is the key. And, like a lot of people will look at you, and like in my career, a lot of people looked at me and they're like, oh man, overnight success. It's easy for you guys. It was way harder for you and me when we got started because the information that's out there now wasn't out there before.
Yeah. There was no YouTube university.
Abundantly everywhere, that information wasn't out there. I mean, there were some books and, things like that, but you didn't have, people like us that you could take courses, that you could hire as coaches or, do consulting, things like that. But, really the key is it's discipline. And a lot of people don't understand what discipline is. Discipline is taking deliberate action on a regular basis towards that goal. And let's just use, real estate investing, like buying a house. A lot of people will stop short of one and they just won't go to the next level because they don't think they can, or they, whatever, or they'll quit looking at deals because they don't think there's any out there, or they'll quit making offers. The key is discipline. You have to do every single day something towards that goal. And if you're starting straight from scratch, do something small. If you haven't done anything, you're afraid to do a deal and you don't think you can, just start looking at properties every day. On Zillow or wherever. Just start looking. And then the next step is start making offers. And then the next step is you get one. And then you just keep the process going. And in any market, in any environment, throughout, as long as my career, through my career, it's been just, you get up, you focus, and you take that, deliberate action every single day. And that carries over everywhere in your life. So you want to set those habits. So on a daily basis, you're doing things consistently. They're going to move the ball forward, whether you want to or not. You just keep doing it. You keep pushing through. If you want to, be successful in any endeavor, you got to get up, put your feet on the floor, make your bed up and hit it. Get that win right out of the gate every single day, same time, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time, have that routine to get yourself going in the morning. Take care of those things first that you hate the most, and then get after it the rest of the day. And the rest of the day is easy. And, that's discipline. It's doing the things on a daily basis that you may not necessarily want to do, but it's going to move the ball forward. And once you start doing it, you start getting success. Then success breeds success. Discipline builds on itself. Motivation builds on itself. And then next thing you know, you're always disciplined. You're always motivated, and you'll just do whatever it takes. And you have to be relentless and tenacious in going after those goals. And, I can't wait till we do our New Year's thing, because I've got a whole different take on New Year's resolutions and all that, and how to actually make a lifelong lasting change in your life. A lot of people know my story. I quit smoking and lost weight at the same time. I was a lifelong
That's not
smoker.
possible.
Yeah. 2004. I mean,
That's
I started
awesome.
in 2004. I decided I was going to lose weight. Now, when I say lose weight, I lost like almost 80 pounds. I was about 80 pounds overweight. And I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'1", so I can carry a lot of weight, but I was looking a little chubber there. And so I did that and quit smoking at the same time, because I knew, when you try to lose weight, a lot of times, or when you try to quit smoking, a lot of times you gain the weight. And,
you replace it with something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a way that you can actually make those changes in your life. And it's the same thing. I use the same techniques that I use when I want to start a business, when I want to go achieve something. It's the same process.
Yeah.
It works in any area of your life. So New Year's will be fun talking about that.
Well, you know what? We may just jump that to the head of the line, and we'll do that as our second episode. What the heck? This again, the big thing for me is focus and daily discipline. It's step one in my course. People are always asking, and I'm like, I can point at the path. I can tell you it took me 20 years. Most people don't see that far, but you know what? You can focus and create a buy box. everybody can do it. In fact, I was on a podcast yesterday called Sunday Service with Pace Morby's team. And we did that. We took Cody, who was hosting it, and we created a buy box in like 12 minutes. And I'm like, Cody, and anybody else watching this, that's all you can look at for 60 days. And then the next step is you look at that for 60 days straight, focus and daily discipline. So a lot of fun. We keep trying to tell people the way to go. Stop looking at, 22 years doing this. I got somewhere. You're down here at the bottom. It starts with focus and daily discipline. So Greg, one more time, how can people find you?
Yeah, gregdickerson.com. All my info is there. Go check it out.
Thanks, buddy.